We're live. Who all's in the house tonight? Oh my goodness. We must have had a bunch waiting already. Unfinished project. Looks like he had to duck out to get his beauty sleep. Family Garage is here. Buff is here. JB. John Mounts. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. Colleen Tebow is the admin for that channel now. Isn't that a nice combination? Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. It's truly something for everyone.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Rapid Transit Garage.
Hey, John, could you tell me how I can see the chat room again through here?
Yes, go to the top. You'll see comments and private. Click comments, and you'll see everybody. Yep. Auto Salvage Outlaws. Mopar Man 1978. Heavens Mopars. Danny Boyd is here. Not quite as overwhelming to greet everybody on this Ambush Monday live. Don't have quite the crowd we have on a Friday. This is just a fun, informal one. Heavens Mopar, Scott's in here. NSB. White Trash Motorsports. Jason's here. Dr. Art is here. Well, Tom Cook is here. Look at this. Got Dr. Art's after party crowd. Cement Surfer, you have been grinding away, getting a few subs at a time, man. Proud of you. We'll help how we can. JB is back. JB's practically in the lead. Well, cool. 71 Charger, 71 Dart, 97 Mustang, 05 Mazda. Well, that's quite a fleet. Old man in the shop, built not bought. Well, I'm glad everybody's here. Lout Burns is here. Robert Maggie's here. Good to see everyone. Drag Pack Merc. Well, cool. Glad everybody's here. We just thought we would have a social live tonight. And because John Cope, Mr. Shot Caller here, decided to make his call-outs for the No Name Nationals. And we just thought we would keep everybody on their toes and surprise everybody on a Monday night. How is everybody? What new stuff do you have cooking, Mr. Cope?
Hello, Pat. Well, I took the rear end out of Haney tonight, and let me shut my phone off so it's not buzzing. I got the pig out. I got it on my bench, and I don't see anything making that noise. But I see a pattern's a little bit weird on the ring and pinion. It didn't make any noise on the acceleration or deacceleration. It was right in that middle where you were just kind of coasting. So I winged it on the pinion depth. I should have checked it with the gauge, and I didn't. So I'm going to get the gauge and recheck my pinion depth, then redo the backlash. But there's no bad bearings or nothing in there, and I thought that's what it was. So
do you hear it just on decel or?
No, it's right in the middle, John. It's right in the middle of XL and decel where you're lifting, but you're not accelerating. It's really weird. I'm like, man, it's got to be that third bearing on the end of the pinion when it's just floating, where it's not putting preload on it from acceleration or deacceleration. So, I mean, and it's been years since I've done a 9-inch. So I kind of had to relearn myself. I watched a couple of videos again and to get familiar with it. I mean, but other than that, cleaning it up, put it back together, the truck is ready to go. It's been really good all year. So I'm excited about going.
Well, 9-inch makes it too easy the way you can shim that pinion support.
Yes.
Makes it a little easier in the 8 3/4.
It is. It does go together real nice. Especially that third bearing stays in the carrier. So you don't have to mess with that. You just pull it off, add or subtract the shims. Once you get the depth correct. And like I said, I kind of winged it. And I'm not sure if that's coming back to bite me in the butt, but I'm going to check it correctly, put it back together. Me and the kid took it apart today after work, and we got it apart like in a half hour. So, I mean, that's one great thing about that old truck. It's really easy to work on. And anytime I make anything, I always do the form follows function rule to make sure if I do something to the truck, it's easy to be serviced. You know.
So, okay, you're getting ready. So you've got call outs for the Snow Name Nationals now, right?
Yep.
Now, have
Well,
any of these
two.
guys, have any of them accepted? I know you made 3.
Well, the third one was more. I didn't. It wasn't a call out to actual drag race. I was just kind of like kidding. It'd be cool if him and his dad would show up. And I mean, that was probably Jed was probably the first page that I joined, even before I knew what the No Name Nationals was.
Yeah.
And it kind of spread spiderweb from there. So I mean, I've probably been on this page the longest, and it's a badass car. I think everybody wants to see that car. So even if he doesn't want to race, if he just shows up with pops, man, I think that'd be great. But I didn't hear back from Joe or Andy yet. But I know
You haven't
Andy's
heard
real
back
busy.
from him yet?
No.
All right. Well, let's get this party started.
Hey, what's
Boy,
going on?
What you wish for, Mr. Coe?
Hello.
I
how
heard
you
something
doing,
about
Andy?
this guy. I heard something about this guy's got a Hemi and a Ford pickup truck, so I had to stay up awesome late to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's good to see you. Good to see
Good
you.
to see you, man.
Yeah. How are those headers coming along?
They're not yet. I
No,
take it this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this weekend I take it to have the headers done.
Uh-huh. Excellent. Boy,
You
it's
can
gonna
ask
be
John.
close,
Though, I'm working on the truck outside, and it has literally been raining every day in the evening when I get home from work.
Okay.
So like it'll rain for 20 minutes. I go out there and work, cover everything up, get back to it. It's been a mess, but it's coming along pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since you can't talk about Andy behind his back, tell us about your other call out. I mean,
I know he's in the wings too, right?
maybe.
We got ourselves a full house.
Maybe.
Oh, I knew he'd be in the wings somewhere. You guys are hiding out on me.
You just never know.
Always
Never
wild.
know.
That's great. How's it going,
John said they wasn't a special announcement, but they might be a surprise.
You
Right.
never know. You got to be careful calling people out on this channel.
How you doing, Joe?
All right. Me and Walter can't stay long, but John, I'm in, man. Let's do it.
Excellent.
Let's do it.
Is that your baby?
That's him.
Oh, cute. You got 2
yeah.
kids, right?
Yep. Got 2.
And the third one's in the garage.
No. Oh yeah,
no.
yeah. I got a couple in the garage.
Oh, that's great.
I'm glad you could come by, Joe, and ambush Cope
That's right.
here. I thought that would be fun.
He deserves
Hey,
it.
hey, Joe, they only get more expensive from then on.
Right.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I can tell you from firsthand experience.
He's trying to get into everything here. I'm gonna go ahead and jump. Good to see y'all.
Good
Thanks
seeing
for
you,
stopping
Joe.
by. It's accepted.
Hi. See ya. See you later, Joe. Have a good day.
Man has a barracuda as a fish prop.
Well, you got an acceptance on here, so
Oh, that's gonna be great. We're gonna have so much damn fun. The
You
people
bet.
that don't go are gonna be jealous.
of
Oh, I
course they
can't
will.
wait.
They don't have the vision. That's the thing. It takes vision to understand what's going to be fun about this No Name Nationals. But after we run it and everybody sees all the video and how much fun they have, then it won't take any imagination for the next one.
That's
Right.
exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to 3-day the next year. You know,
You never
Might have-
know.
It'd be a 3-day event.
Well, it's practically 3 days now. Everybody wants to show up on
True.
Thursday and cruise
Yeah.
and everything. So
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about this whole event is the camaraderie that we've established in this community.
Yep.
And the extreme nature of the different types of builds that are out there. You know, it's not your run of the mill type stuff, you know, and that's what I love about it so much.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody's got their uniqueness to that vehicle. Everything is unique.
Yeah.
You know, and it definitely is not run of the mill. That is for sure, Andy.
I mean, take JB there. I mean, come on. How unique is that? 2.8.
JB only needs 56 subs. So if anybody in the chat, if you are not subscribed to JB, you are missing out. Go check out his channel. There's a guy who's going to make it. He needs to be there.
Hey, kudos to James and James. They
wow.
they did it, huh? Man,
Unbelievable.
and fast.
Unbelievable.
So yeah,
So
their cars are pretty fast.
It is. It really
like
is.
it.
So did you figure out your rear end noise, John? Because I know that you was having trouble with that. I don't know if you talked about that yet or not.
I actually was going to converse with you on that. I did take it apart today, Andy, and I got it on the bench. And I was telling John earlier that when I did the pinion depth on it, I'll be honest, I winged it.
Right.
I didn't use a gauge, and I've done that in the past before. And usually 99% of the time, it doesn't bite you in the butt. And like I said, the gear is quiet, acceleration and deacceleration. I just got a weird, pretty loud noise right when you're in the middle coasting.
It's been like that. It's been set up like that for quite some time, though, right?
This whole year.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the year. And I would think the truck's got maybe, I don't know, 20 passes on it and maybe 500, 600, 700 miles, I would think.
Yeah.
You know, but I thought for sure it was that little bearing that goes on end of the pinion because it's a 4.9-inch.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that. So I'm going to get a tool and do the pinion depth correctly and see how far off I am.
Let me ask you this. How tight was the carrier in the chunk? You know, you got the spanner nuts on the side. Was it tight or loose?
Bearings or
the preload? The preload.
The preload is not crazy. I could take and spin the ring and pinion with the ring gear with the pinion out.
Yeah.
With one finger.
It could be that the bearings have worn enough that it's causing a little bit of slop, and it may be the preload of the side bearings, the carrier bearings.
That are not tight enough?
Not tight enough, yeah.
Okay.
I've ran into that before.
I didn't check the backlash with a gauge, but I bet I'm still at 4 to 6.
Does it have like a dull hum to it?
Boy, it was hard to explain. It almost sounded like a loose gear. It was really weird, but it would only do it. It would not do it when you're just right in the middle of the on and off the throttle.
Yeah, because you stop and think about it. If there's play in that carrier, when you're accelerating, it's going to shove the carrier one way, and on decel, it's going to go back the other way because it's going to be on the back side of the gear.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, and I would think that the backlash would be a mile off if that was the case.
Well, you would think that, but
yeah, because if the ring gear is going side to side,
you would think
that backlash should be at a mile off, and it's right there. I didn't check it with the gauge, but it is right there. So, but I'm going to do it right, and I'm going to, even if I have to buy I was watching a video where there's a little flat piece and you take the main cap off and you do your measurement from there.
Yeah.
So I just have to do it right to make sure it's good to go.
Hey, Wilburn, did you notice in John's call out how he did it? He's smart. He's sneaky.
He's sneaky.
Pro tree.
Speaking of sneaky, just Mopar Joe sent me this, told me to show it to you, and gave me no context.
Okay.
654.
I'm just reporting. You guys figure out what you think that means.
Means he probably put a bottle in it.
I have no idea, but I'm just telling. Listen, he just said show that to him.
Well, John, did he get his new springs on today?
I don't know.
Yeah, I seen the video. He got them in there.
Yeah. You were dead on that advice because I had the same thing happen to me in a big block.
Mm-hmm.
Every pass, it would be almost a tenth slower till it got to 4/10.
Yeah.
What's going on? And sure enough, it was the springs.
I mean, and that will drive you crazy because you're checking things like plug wires, plugs, all of that other stuff, and then come find out it's valve springs.
Yeah, yeah. So when I saw that you told him that, man, it hit the back of my brain. I'm like, man, I've been down that road before. I remember that happening to me on my big block.
Yeah.
Good
So
advice.
are we going to do a 400 per tree or 500? Your choice.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter to me. It really don't.
You know what? Just having the picture of us going down the track side by side is going to be epic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is going to be two old trucks with both Hemis in them. That is going to be a picturesque thing. If I get a good clean picture of that, it's going in my office.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going in my office. So,
how much does your truck weigh? Just curious.
With me in it, it's 4,100.
So we're about dead even.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about how to lose weight, and here we are, got two heavyweights bringing it to the party.
Yeah, both the car and driver in my case. But yeah, do you have a trans brake in your C4?
Lord no, that would definitely finish it off.
Then yeah, a Pro Tree would do me real good then.
Oh yeah,
trans brake turn that into a C2.5.
Yeah, and
clean up on lane 1.
Right. But actually, the last time I took it out, I went. I like saying it's a 4-speed because I gets the stick shift guys scratching their head.
Yeah,
and they're like, "Well, no, it's a 4-speed automatic with the trans brake." So, the last time I took it out, both times I hit fourth gear about 1,100 feet out, and then it took it. It was great.
That's the thing that blew me away. I was thinking, man, because I watched that video. I mean, it took it.
Yeah.
Of course, I know whose valve body's in it too, so that has a lot to do with it.
Oh, thanks. It means a lot. Thank you.
MM78 wants to know if you're running ATF in the rear. That could either one of you could answer that.
I am not.
Nah.
A gear lube.
I don't do that. I know some people do, but I mean, that 100th of a second is not worth that to me, really.
Yeah. That heavy truck, and as much as Andy drives his, I know that'd be.
Well, yeah, and that's another thing. You know, I drive it. You know.
Were you, Andy? Did you decide if you were going to go to Turbo 400 for the long term? Okay.
Yeah, I've got a core here that needs to be built, so yeah, I think that's probably the best route. I've talked to people who's been down the C6 route, and they said, no, don't do it. Don't do it because you'll go through it 3 or 4 times and you'll still have a turd at the end of the day.
Yeah. Have you considered going to a lower first gear ratio because the truck is heavier, or don't you think you'll need it because you'll have so much power?
Well, I think we're at a point. There's a transitional point where having too much first gear ratio becomes a hindrance. And I think with this combination with the torque, it's probably going to be happy with what it has. Now, it's a funny thing you brought that up, because when I had the 306 in it years ago, I had a low gear set in it. And man, I love that thing for that combination. You know, because that little 306 needed that to get out of the hole.
It was a 306 rear end ratio?
No, a 306 small block Ford.
Oh, okay. I got
yeah.
you. I got
and
you.
It made world of difference. Yeah, it was worth almost 2/10.
I run a low gear set in mine in Mr. Handy. Yeah. The stock ratio on a torque flight is 245, and this one is a 277.
Yeah. It's a night and day difference, so you can definitely tell it.
Yeah, it does help. And then combined with the 480 gears, man, it's got a killer first gear.
Yeah.
You know, but
Haney leaves strong now.
It does. I was expecting like a foot wheelie. I don't know why I thought that. And I was going to put a couple 100 pounds on a tailgate and have the tailgate open. But I've been so busy at the shop, I haven't had time to play with it.
Your truck's got the straight front axle in it, right? Or does it have twin I-beams?
It has the Crown Vic front end.
Oh, so you're not even messing with that junk
Yeah,
like I am.
It's it's got the Crown Vic front end, which is it all came with disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and coilovers. The
Yeah.
only thing is, now that I look back, I mean the truck drives great. Everybody goes for a ride, like, man, I can't believe how good this thing rides. There's no suspension travel.
Right.
So, like if you jack it up from the K-member and you let the tires hang, you don't have to go up very far before the tires are off the ground. So maybe the tires drop maybe 2.5 inches. And you do
Yeah.
that to like an old Roadrunner or something, man, you can get 6-7 inches of drop, which that
Yeah.
helps with getting the front end up.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, and I was always a wheelie guy. I mean, I always usually ran 10 flat and did, 4-foot wheel stands to the 60-foot mark in every single car I've ever had. And that was the reason why I was putting the ladder bars on Haney, but it just doesn't have enough motor.
Right.
So, and that suspension in the front's killing it from going up.
I've got a short up on my channel. I love to do wheelies, but one time we just got eliminated from the race, and my buddy Micah, he said, I'm going to put the Mustang in make something happen mode. Well, what I didn't know was he took the front end limiters off and he loosened the shocks full loose. And so I stood it straight up on the rear bumper. You talking about something that make you cringe now.
What kind of car was it?
It's a 96 Mustang.
Which the bumper is way high on that, so I can imagine how high the front end came up.
Oh yeah, there's a short of it on my channel. You'll have to check it out.
No kidding. Yeah, I will look at that. But no, I
We
love
put on a good show. Now, like on the my truck, with the front twin I-beams, I've had to, because as the front end comes up, the I-beams drop and it does some funky things with the geometry on the front tires.
Yeah.
So I pretty much had to put chains from the frame down to the I-beam to limit the travel to keep it from getting into death wobble when it wants to settle back down.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
I never thought about that. So your camber's probably all kinds of crazy when that thing's picked up going down the track.
Oh yeah. It's almost scary. The first time I done it with the 393, I mean, they were on the cusp. They were lifted probably about an inch off the ground, and that was enough to make my butthole perker, because when it comes down, you never know which way it's wanting to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What
depends if you hit it square or not.
Andy, what do you have for rear suspension on your truck?
Caltrax.
Okay.
Yeah, just the Stockley springs I took the heavy load spring out, clamped them up, and Caltrax, man, and it works great.
The very first time I took Haney out, this was about 3 years ago, and it was on the stock 66 sleeve springs. And the way those perches are in the back, I let go of the brake, and the spring came up underneath, and the truck was really jacked up when I came back, and I thought, what the hell? What did I do? I couldn't figure it out. I thought the shock extended and stayed extended.
Right.
I took the shock off. It wasn't that, and then because I can't see all that good, someone goes, "Oh, look at that spring."
Turned it into an S.
So I decided to go to the ladder bar setup. But that's that truck, I don't know if you guys know this or not, is actually Mr. Haney 2.
Really?
The first one was my father's tow truck. It was the first vehicle I ever drove, and that was in 81 or something. And so those goofy lights I got on the top was kind of to mimic my dad's tow truck. So it's Haney number 2. There it is.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So that's why I went out, a Mopar guy. I went out and bought a Ford truck. I did it while Dad was still alive, and I just wanted to have something that I had when I was a kid. You know,
That is awesome.
Hey,
that's
So
Haney
what
1.
made you to go the Hemi route?
It fell in my lap, Andy.
Really?
It had what is it, a 352, 351? I don't know what size
Yeah,
motor that
probably a
was.
352. It had an FE motor in it.
Yeah, with the 3 in a tree, you know, and I just cruised it. I never thought I'd make it fast. And then a customer of mine goes, "Hey, I got a Gen 3 Hemi that looked good in there." And I got it for a great price. So I bought it and I stuffed it in there. And then while I was doing that, I come across an old cop car. So we used the front end, and it took about a year to do it, and we got it done. And I tell you what, I've been a diehard big block guy my entire life. Everything I had was 440s or stroker 440s. And then when I put that Hemi in it, I was so surprised at the performance out of a bone stock motor that I sold every single big block I have. I have nothing left.
Wow.
And bought all Gen 3 Hemis. I have another one in the Coronet and some bits and pieces that I've been buying here and there. I was that impressed.
That's pretty.
Plus, I want to learn more of the late model stuff to go with some of the transmission stuff that we offer.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of got to roll with the times a little bit in the business. So, but it's been a great motor, and it is a stock motor other than a slight bigger cam and a set of headers. So
I tell you this, I've never built one of the Gen 3 Hemis, but way back when they first come out, and this was pre-Eagle heads, Vizard and myself, we got ourselves, guys said, here, want to flow test these and see what we can get out of them.
mm-hmm.
And man, we were just blown away by how much flow and potential was in those cylinder heads.
Okay.
You know, it's unbelievable what you can do with a stock casting.
Yeah, really, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I really wouldn't mind building one. Down the road, I would not mind building one at all because I think they're pretty impressive engines myself.
Yeah. Where did you find the engine that you have in there now? Did you have to buy that like as a core, or did you buy? No.
That was man. That started as an idea back in 2016 in Hot Rod Magazine. There was just a small paragraph bleat about those cylinder heads. So I called Greg Brown. He's the guy who does those cylinder heads. And I was asking him questions, and he worked for Kazi for 13 years. Okay. And he did a lot of the work on the Boss 9 stuff for Kazi, but he wanted to take that cylinder head and scale it down to where you could run it on a small block platform. And I was thinking, man, I want to do this. You know, so that got my wheels turning at the time. And just so happens, there was a guy at work that was going through a divorce of all things. He was building a Cobra kit car.
Mm-hmm.
And he had bought this Ford Racing 427 short block. And he said, Andy, he said, you know anybody who wants to buy this? Now, list on it was like $5,500 is what he paid for it. And I wound up getting it for, a little over $3,000.
Wow.
And so I got that. And as soon as I got my hands on that short block, the wheel, I called Greg up, put a deposit down on a set of heads, and then it come up. See, that block is actually a Boss 351 block. That's what Ford Racing calls it.
Okay.
And so the heads being a 429 style head, that's why I called it mixed up Boss, a cross between.
But they took that Hemi head and made it fit that whole bolt pattern and head
Yes,
gasket
it
and
is
everything.
shrunk down. It is shrunk down to fit a small block package.
Really?
Yeah. And it's
Huh.
really the crazy part about it is, and I've got pictures, he used a Yates Cleveland C3 head as a starting point to develop that head that's on my truck.
No kidding.
I've got pictures of all of that stuff.
I got to tell you, every time I watch one of your videos, I walk away a smarter guy. I mean,
Well, I appreciate that, man.
Even though I'm a Mopar guy, I'm still a car guy all the way. And learning something new like that, and you tell the story so great. I'm like, you set the examples for what video making should be. They
Well,
really do.
man, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, I do this stuff because I love to do it, and I love the fellowship of you guys and the community. You know what I'm saying? It's what has been freely been given to me, you know, over the years.
Yeah.
And I feel like giving that back, you know, because being working with David for the next, you know, for close to 20 years, I've got to see and do some pretty incredible things that I wouldn't have otherwise gotten to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Joe just sent me this. He said I can show this. I have no idea, but he said it explains the dial-in. Let's see what he said.
I'm sure.
I had a lot of people ask me how to speed your car up on YouTube. Here's the easiest way. You get your glass chalk marker and a towel, you wipe off your old time. Then you just write a different time on. My car went from running 754 to now 654. That fast.
If it was only that easy, Joe.
It is that easy on YouTube because if you don't go down the dragway and you don't run your car, you can put any dial-in time you want.
Is this competition number 408?
I guess it is.
I saw that on there. You know how I knew Joe had a small block?
How's that?
I just looked underneath and say, "Oh yeah, it's a and it's a small block underneath."
You ain't got to take that, Joe.
Oh, Joe, he's a great guy.
He is, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that we don't all live in the same neighborhood.
I know, right?
You know, it's I'm still looking forward.
Here's one other. You know, Mr. Haney's not the first truck or not the last truck that Cope has recreated.
Yeah, that is really sweet right there.
That's the Power Wagon that I drove in high school. And
I love that truck.
See, we went through some hard times in the 80s, and that Power Wagon got repossessed. So did our house, and the tow truck got lost in the shuffle, and my dad closed his shop. So I kind of spent my adult life going after the things that got lost. One of them was Mr. Haney. The other one is the Power Wagon. And then me opening the shop up again. And then even though I've been in business for 25 years, it was all those things that got lost in those hard times that my parents went through.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, something I felt I had to do, right? You know?
I think it's a pretty cool story. I mean,
I always like those stories of their families that get together and they buy their father a car, and it might have been the car that he had in college or something like that. And I didn't buy the Power Wagon until after Pops died, but I'm still building it as a dedication to the old man. So it'd be pretty cool.
John, have we got time to do that right there, you reckon?
I'd like to.
I would too.
When are we going to do it? When's you guy going to get back with us?
I don't know. I think we just need to show up there. Gates never locked.
Can we get a tree turned on?
I probably can make that happen.
We need to make that happen. We just need to do it.
I know a thing or two.
Andy, do you think you'll have time to go out and test before?
It's going to be cutting it close because, like I said, this thing's got to be in Hickory, which is about an hour away from me. Well, maybe 45 minutes on the 29th. And he told me probably 2 to 3 weeks. So if you do the math on that,
Yeah.
I'm going to literally get it back the week before Sykeston. So my plan has been, I want to get that thing as completed as I possibly can. So when I do get it back with the headers, it's pretty much ready to fire up. I may have just to do a few odd and end things, but
yeah,
because I might have to go to Mexico to do some testing, to be honest with you. That might be the extent I get. Then it's load up on the trailer and head halfway across the country.
I tell you right now, if me and John were like down the street from you, we wouldn't be on this video. We'd be there thrashing on the truck.
Yeah.
You know?
I've offered to Andy. I'm glad to come down and help. You let me know when. I can do it.
Yeah.
Well, if I was psychic and knew when it wasn't going to be raining, I'd tell you. But, man, this has been the wettest August I have ever seen. I mean, it's really bizarre here in North Carolina. I don't know how it is up there where you're at, John, but it's crazy here.
It's been dry.
Really?
Yeah. And I've been seeing videos on Facebook of people showing floods and stuff down south.
Yeah.
And Kentucky or Tennessee. Just total, like,
wiped out stuff.
Yes. And I'm like, what the heck's going on down there, you know?
Makes no sense to me, but
yeah.
No, I thought this would be fun to get y'all together to discuss your call out.
I feel honored that I finally I mean, this is the first time we got to talk.
I know, right?
This was a great idea, John. I got to say thank you for that. You know, I know I'm not going to want to leave this event once I go there.
It'll be a lot of fun. That's the idea. It's going to be what the people make it.
What it's going to turn into is a family reunion of sorts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that restaurant we're going to, Andy. John asked if he can write shotgun in Haney, and I said no because you're going to drive and I'm going to videotape.
Why?
Yeah, Coach will write shotgun. I'll bring the shotgun. He can pop the mailboxes on the way.
Well, guys, I hate to. I've got to get. I'm way past my bedtime, so.
Yes.
You're going to be putting dashboards in 6 hours, right?
Yeah, something like that. Well, you guys have a good night. It's good seeing everyone here. Absolutely, and I can't wait to get that photo op with Haney. I can't wait.
It's going in my office.
Thanks, buddy. We'll get together.
All right, thanks, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Take care.
John, that was totally cool, dude.
That's fun, wasn't it?
How did you keep your mouth shut the whole time?
I can do that.
Oh, geez.
You just never know. You didn't hear back from either of them, so we had to get an answer somehow, right?
What great people.
Yeah, they are.
Everybody.
Those guys are awesome friends.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was no YouTube tomorrow, I would still be friends with those guys for the rest of my life.
That is just totally awesome. And that's really, I mean, it's a car event, but it's also a people event too.
It's about ideas. And if in your ideas is the value of people, you get it. If you don't have value in ideas and your ideas don't value people, then all you think about is things. Yep. You won't like the event.
I was thinking the other day, boy, would it be cool, like someone like Discovery Channel to come down there and do a taping of it. I think that something big like that might happen once the word gets out in a year or two, whatever.
Sure. Well, I mean, there have been some people fishing this thing, but it's like I told Dallas yesterday. Hey, Robert, thanks for joining, man. The AHRA is the sanctioning body for the rest of us. I can attest to that. Now, the thing I was telling Dallas is I'm really glad the way this shaped up, because we've had a lot of opportunities to join with the kind of sponsors, the kind of talent, the kind of people that would certainly make the event bigger, but then it doesn't have the same core quality that it does right now.
You're right. You're right.
And so you'd be surprised at some of the stuff that we have turned away. And
Mhm.
and I have had repeated requests. People like, oh, just drop the sub requirement for this, drop the sub requirement from that. Oh, you should do a deal with this person. You should deal with that person. And I've really tried to stay true to the original mission of the event, which is this is a fellow content creator homecoming. That's what it is.
Mhm.
And the people, the bedrock that this event is based around is rock solid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as it grows, if we grow this event with the kind of people we have now, it's amazing what it'll be.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, and it's amazing that, first of all, you will never, ever have seen this many content creators in one spot ever before. Ever. Okay?
That's true.
Not only that, but it's going to grow properly.
Yeah.
So, for instance, there are plenty of other events you can go to where they hire the talent to come in, and then you have a bunch of fans and spectators. That's not the way this works. The way this works is that everybody has an opportunity to be a fellow content creator. Now, that has been part of the problem for the bottom 1% of attrition that we've had, because they just couldn't do that. They would have, like, say, a fan mentality, and they couldn't coexist as a fellow content creator. And that was the rub. That was the problem.
Right.
But for the other 99% who have taken the opportunity and just run with it and said, you know what, we're going to develop a channel and we're going to get our projects and our stories out there and we're going to mix and mingle in the community, it's worked great.
Yeah.
So some of the challenges we've had have been pretty unique because nobody's done this before. So that's you know what, there's pros and cons, but I will take the bad with the good. Overall, we have a wonderful content creator homecoming. That's what this is.
And I tip my hat to you for actually pulling this off. I mean, the first one hasn't come off yet, but
we haven't pulled it off 39 more days, but it looks pretty good.
Yep. But the vision that you have to see what this could be, to come up with something like this is great. So, and like I said earlier, in my other video, you would get a hold of me like, hey, John, you got to go to this event. I'm like, oh, geez, come on. What are you talking about?
I hassled you once a month. I would make my rounds.
You did.
I didn't want to do
and I'm glad that you did.
But not too much, but not too little.
No, not at all.
But you needed, I could tell the way that you interact with people, the way you tell your stories. I said, this is the event for you. I just need to get it under your nose long enough that you say, okay, I got to see what this is about. Just if I can get it there, I can see it.
And I thank you so much for staying persistent with me. And I actually hee-hawed, even when I'm like, okay, yeah. The more and more people I met through the little click we got clicking on here, the more and more I said, man, I got to go. I would watch this guy's video. I'm like, oh, man, I got to go see him. Or I'd watch this car. And like, man, I got to go see that car. So
the people participating in the first one, they're all going to be part of the inaugural event. They're going to be the people that had the vision to understand it before it happened.
Yep, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Now next year is going to be great. We have a huge head start on next year already. Think of what we have for next year. We have a huge list of participants that we can invite back. We'll have a very short no-fly list of people to not register in the first place. We're going to have signage paid for, a billboard paid for. Yeah, we'll have to amend the date. We knew that, but I designed that billboard to amend the date, right? We're going to have, hopefully, and I don't know how much, I don't know if we'll have any money left over, but I know one thing. If there's any money left over at all, it's going to sit in the No Name Nationals bank account and help seed next year, to help us leverage better deal on track rental, get track prep, anything that we need to do special, like the track they need in facilities, we'll be able to do that. So that's kind of the goal, but it won't take any imagination for next year. That's the thing.
Right.
You know, all these people that were told about it this year that kind of went in one ear and out the other. Well, when they see videos, you know, of these cars leaving the line together and they see all these people in one place at the same time they've never seen together, they're going to say, oh, wow, I should have been there. There's going to be a lot of that on October 2nd.
Could you just imagine the coverage of every person's going to add their own little twist to the event?
I have no idea. I mean,
there's nothing that you're not going to miss. If you do, it'll all be on everybody's channels.
Well, they're all content creators. That's the thing. Well, okay, and just look in the chat over here. Just look in the chat. Look how many people launched their channels over this event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cement Surfer did. Mopars, Mustangs, and Minivans did. Two Hacks did. Henry's Hot Rod Garage. JB did. Stephen Holtz. There's a lot of guys who launched their channels in an effort to make this. And to me, that's what building the community is all about.
Or then bumped it up to 500 like Patrick did.
That's the thing. I mean, this has caused the community to really come together. And I think that that's going to be a compounding effect from year to year.
Yeah.
This is going to do a lot to build the community. You build the community. All we're doing is we're just giving the time and the place for the family reunion. It's all the community building the other 363 days a year that makes it worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe said you'll be able to watch this event until December. That's the truth.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, Nolan's trip says 3,800. Nolan's, yeah, about that. Pretty close, about 2,000 each way for him. Yeah, you know, Jay had maybe a couple hundred subscribers, and he's probably 2,000 now. It's amazing how many channels have really flourished with this. There's another one, Irish Outlaw. You know, I actually have had the criticism from a few people that if you have all the no-name 500 guys just sub to each other, that doesn't build the network outside. No, you're right. It doesn't do that. But why is it a bad thing? It does build the community on the inside. And then they recruit more channels and more channels. It really strengthens the community on the inside. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what's going to make it a great event.
Yes. Yes.
Because I remember when John Cope Racing only had a couple hundred subscribers. I mean,
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You've been around that long?
I've been around in YouTube since 2006, but I didn't post any content for a long time.
It took me a while to find my groove.
Yeah.
I didn't know if anybody would get my personality or get my sense of humor or not. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not everybody's
humor.
I'm not everybody's slice of pizza.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I do goofy stuff just like that. I mean, you know, like the movie references and stuff like that. And
yeah.
It's amazing I've gotten away with it without getting dings and claims. I've done stuff for Christmas vacation. And so do you get stuff like that? Because you use a lot of copyrighted stuff. You just don't care, it looks like.
I've never got dinged for it.
Really?
Nope.
I just think that's amazing. I don't know how.
Yeah. I can't pull that same like I'll do a video that if I upload it to Facebook, it'll get dinged there real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean that song that I took for that video made for the old man, I thought for sure a Neil Young song, it's gonna get tagged, it's gonna get, and it hasn't. So
wow.
But yeah, I've been fortunate with that.
And it's funny how that works. I had a video one time of a radiator getting soldered in a radiator shop, and they had the doors on the radio, and it got picked up for that, and they stole the monetization on that video. I'm like, well, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll have other ones where I'll use something and they don't care. It's funny how it works. You just never seem to know.
Well, my website or my YouTube is not monetized. I don't use it to make money. I use it to reach people and whatnot. I will say this: the only time that I do they'll shut off the audio is anytime I boost anything from the Blues Brothers, which I'm a huge Blues Brothers fan, and I quit trying. So now I use their songs in a not copyrighted version from someone else doing it. That's really the only time I've ever had any issues is with the Blues Brothers stuff.
Dust Devil Garage Brian is in the house. He's here for a minute. What's up? Well, you see it.
Hey, where's he been? I haven't seen him in a while.
I think that he's been hiding half under a duster. So,
how's that car coming along?
That's a great question, Brian. Would you like to come in here and talk about your ride?
Yeah, get him in here.
You want to come in, Brian?
Yes, he does. I haven't seen him in weeks.
I know.
He didn't get the monkeypox, did he? Oh, jeez. He used to have those late night chat room things all the time that were hilarious.
I know. Well, he's been laying a little low. I know he's had COVID.
Oh yeah. All
he can't
heavy.
keep COVID through the screen. So anyway, Brian, if you want to jump in, you can. Exactly. They're going to put ads on your videos anyway.
What's the name of this car? Bottle Rocket?
Oh, Brian's the Knuckle Duster.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The Knuckle Duster.
Yeah, he's got to get back on YouTube again. Let everybody know what's going on. I didn't realize that till you don't know someone
done rewriting a CNC program at work. Okay, needs to work. Okay, cool. We need to get you on sometime, Brian. Maybe we'll do one of these late night ambush lives that just surprises everybody again.
There you go.
We don't want to get too predictable. Well, what is predictable is Friday. 8 to 10 p.m. on Friday Eastern time. Busted Radio, I don't even know that number off the top of my head. I've just been sticking them in the book. I know that we still have 29 no-name 500 guys who are not yet in. But honestly, I haven't tallied in a long time.
Hey, John, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Every time I've gone to a Mopar event, if it's Chrysler, Carlisle, Mopar Nationals, Monster Mopar, they give you a little event sticker to put in the window. Do we have those or no?
Dallas and I are talking about that today. So that's a distinct possibility. That's a distinct possibility.
Especially being the first one.
Yeah. We actually had that conversation today.
What guys do, like if you go to Mopar Nationals, I would have 8 or 9 of them lined up and it'd be like, oh, there was there 92, 94, 93, 92.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
Yeah, we talked about that today. We're still working on some of the logistics with the run order and car numbers, and we got to figure that out. There are some really unique things about figuring this out.
Yeah, if you could come up with something that said No Name Nationals participant, and it covers everybody.
We talked about that today. Yes, we did. Yes, we sure did. We talked about a lot of things today. One thing that I'm really, and Dallas doesn't lean on this, but I'll lean on it for him because I think it's important. I want to see as many people as possible in this YouTube automotive community, especially those who support the No Name Nationals, to be AHRA members. Because that's the sanctioning body that does everything for us.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I'm not dissing them. I mean, I'm an NHRA member and I have their competition license, but it's like, are you going to see the president of NHRA doing something for YouTubers?
No.
I mean, it doesn't exist. So that's the thing. The AHRA is creating a sanctioned event for us. And I think supporting them is very beneficial. Helping the AHRA to help us is I think it's important. And Dallas, he's very understated about it, but I would love to see a bunch of AHRA members come out of this. Lots of those red AHRA shirts with the logo everywhere in the photos. To me, I would be thrilled with that.
And unfortunately, I cannot. I saw the question up there.
That Mo Party.
I'm probably not going to go to Mo Party for a few reasons. It's kind of close to the No Name National event, and I could only take off so much time at the shop because I'm a one-man band. If I'm not there, the place nothing happens. That and the crew, the guys that I was kind of hanging with and going with from the Chicagoland area, that little thing kind of fizzled out. I had a couple friends that passed, and a couple guys got cars. They don't race anymore, and so I really don't got no one to go with, and it ain't no fun going by yourself. So I'm probably not going to go to Mo Party this year.
Well, you're going to get overloaded with people that you know and want to hang out with at so that's a different story altogether.
And
thank you guys who consider joining. I appreciate that. I mean, I just Dallas is he's killing himself to deliver for us. Sorry.
That's okay.
Brian, can I show this? Can I show this picture you sent me on the screen? Let me know. Yeah, I would do more, but I am swamped with this event this year. Okay. Brinker sent me this. Ooh.
There's a motor in there.
Look at that. He's got his Flintstone size slicks on the back. Got his big bug catcher on there, the tunnel ram. How close are we to hearing that, Brian?
Look at that, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Can't miss those valve covers. That was cool. Shop Cat says, I can't figure this out. I had a video doing rear brakes on the Flex and it was a dud. Now it's taken off. I've had that happen too, where they'll just sit there and then just take off out of the blue.
What's that, Joe? You need a bigger motor. I think I'm going to bring that to the No Name Nationals and have them sign it.
You should. You should. Dust Devil says, I may have a surprise soon about the first fire up. All right, man. You gonna do it on a live? Whatever. Two Hack says he's 2 hours south of you.
Yes, he is. I thought I was 2 hours south of him, and he's north of me. He's in the west side of Chicago. Do you remember where he's from, John?
No, somewhere in Illinois. That's all I know.
I think he's north of me, and I'm south of him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Blake says, leave that poor Barracuda alone. Yes, Two Hacks likes the shirt. This is the shirt right here.
Nice.
I get tired of people talking about one of these days and I'll do this one day and I'm gonna do this and when I sweep that inch of dust off and I'm gonna do it next week and no one believes that. So anyway, that's what this shirt is about. That's what that is about. And so that's the thing about the No Name Nationals that Dallas and I have come to discover why there's that 1% that goes sideways over it. This event has separated the doers from the dreamers. It absolutely has. And for some doers, it's made, they've buckled down and done so much with it. And then there are some people that it's just said, hey, man, the orange paper waits for nobody. It's going to leave you behind. And it's polarized a really, really, really small percentage out there. But that's a good thing. It has to happen.
Yep.
Anybody else got any questions? I won't keep Mr. Cope tied up all night. I've had a bit of blast, though. I mean, I've had a good time.
Yeah, you got a couple of tricks up your sleeve. Kudos to that. I thought that was absolutely awesome. Both those guys, both Joe and Andy, are great guys. I cannot wait to meet all you dudes and do some racing and hanging out, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring some Chicago style hot dogs. I gotta bring something from where I'm from. So
it'll be really interesting to see all the different people and cultures and everything come together. Any relation to Derek Cope?
None. Not at all.
Old man in the shop, built not bought, says some guys might not be able to afford to go. Well, that's true. We've done the best we can. I mean, we've got the fuel relief fund, so at least if you're having trouble being able to afford the fuel and you're a participant, you can email Big Hoopty Mike. We got a fuel relief fund video that will tell you what you need to know. So we're doing the best we can with that, but we do know that's part of the concern right now.
And it has come down.
Yeah, fuel in Tennessee when I was there a couple of weeks ago, $3.11.9.
Oh, nice.
For 80.
I mean, it's not $2 the way it used to be, but
Gary Henry's asking what Hemi you have in that Ford.
It came out of a 2005 Dodge Challenger, so it's a 6.4 or what they call a 392. It's got a small stage 1 cam in it, a set of headers, and the rest of it's pretty much stock. And it usually runs like a 12 teens, right around there in a 4,000-pound truck. So I might go to one of those Torque Storm superchargers. We'll see. I don't know.
Well, that's true. Brian wouldn't miss this for anything. Brian has actually known about this for a year or more. He's one of the first people I told that it was coming.
No kidding.
He knew about this probably a few months before there was even an announcement. He literally was one of the first 10 people to know. Blake says, I guess I'll bring the corn. Jay says, I'll bring the Wisconsin cheese.
There you go. Yeah, everybody brings something from their neck of the woods.
Yeah.
That'd be
why
cool.
not? Why not? Well, we won't keep it running tonight all night. I do want to thank you for being here, Cope. I appreciate that much. It's been a lot of fun.
Anytime, my friend.
Want to thank our mods. Didn't have much to give the axe to tonight, but want to thank them. Want to thank Blake and Joe and Andy, which 2 of the mods were on here, so they get a pass tonight. And Fubar and Buzz and Ari. And Dan wants to know who's bringing the winter wheat. Big Block 402 is bringing the mosquitoes. There we go. Colleen's bringing the grits. Thus Devil's bringing the St. Louis barbecue. My goodness. Bear Rose is bringing the potatoes, of course. Look at that. My goodness. Well, guys, I'm gonna call it an evening. But we can always do this again. So who knows? Maybe we'll maybe somebody will call Cope out on my live, and you never know. Maybe he'll be waiting in the wings. You never know. It could happen. You never know. Anyway, we'll see you guys. Thanks for coming out and joining us, and it's been fun.
Have a good one, guys. See you at the race.